Hey, what's up everybody, Retro Gaming Guy here. So I finally got my hands on the KinHank 12TB retro game drive right here. Now this advertises over 40,000 games, 2,500 of which are supposedly AAA titles. So I am stoked to dive into this. We're going to unbox this. We're going to boot it up on my PC. Let's get started. All right, so let's go ahead and open this up. So first off, this is a massive external hard drive. I was expecting this to be a fraction of the size. You can see this is quite large, and it looks like we actually have built-in cooling into this. Let's see, so we do have a user manual right here, and this says Hyperspin Attraction System User Manual. So I guess we're using Hyperspin for this. It does walk through what we need to do in order to access everything. Now this is going to be something that we access through Windows. We don't have to go in and change our boot order on this. We will go in through Windows 11 today. And here we have our first cable. Let's go ahead and open this up. So this is going to be how we actually connect this over to our PC via USB 3 connection. And I'll demonstrate the connection that we need to make on here. So USB 3 side is going to be the side that actually goes into our PC. This is the side that's going to connect over to our drive, and you can see right over here where it will actually connect. So that is one connection. Now we also will have to provide a power supply cable to this as well, which we have right here. So this is going to plug in right next to that to the external hard drive. And this of course is going to get plugged into a power outlet of your choosing. So go ahead and take that off, but everything is accessible within. I don't know how easy it is to actually access the inside of this. They generally don't make it super easy. I don't think it just comes apart like this. Oh, there it goes. All right, so there you can see we've got a Seagate enterprise capacity 3.5-inch HDD in here. So this is a HDD, not an SSD internally. 12 terabytes, you can see right there. So I'm actually surprised it was that easy to open up. Usually they don't want you accessing these easily. So all we have to do is obviously provide power to this, and we are good to go. So I'm going to go over and connect this to my gaming PC, and we'll dive into this and see what we've got. Alright guys, so here we are loaded up into this 12 terabyte setup. Now we are currently hovering over the all games list. That's going to be your master list for the entire setup. Now bottom left corner I can see the all games count is 102,693. Now I thought it was just 40,000 games on here, which could be entirely possible based on 12 terabytes, but so could 102,693. In all honesty, it just depends on the size of games, the number of games for each type of collection. So we're going to have to comb through this, but let's dive into the all games list and just get a feel for what the layout is like here. So far, the menu screen looks absolutely phenomenal here for this collection anyways. So let's jump into all games, let this load in. And again, this is going to give us an alphabetical order list of every single title in here, regardless of what collection it belongs to. All right, so here we are. And you can see collection by collection how they populate in. So we have a logo list there for each of our titles that populates in, and then as we highlight one, it fades out into the background and we get a bunch of information here. We get the logo for the collection it belongs to, we get a little gameplay preview, we get the box art or cover art, and we also get a little bit of information down there in the bottom left corner as well about the title. So this one is 007 License to Kill, European version, and then if we go up here we have 007 GoldenEye, which was an N64 title, and I love the way that looks in the background too. We even have the cartridge kind of floating around back there. And the video preview, really sharp, kicked up graphics too, it looks like. So definitely liking this. And each one is different. Each background differs depending on what collection it belongs to. So here you have PS2 versus GameCube versus over here Game Boy Advance versus here's PS2 again, GameCube again. We have PSP. Love the way that it customizes the video previews here based again on the collection that you're diving into. So let's back out of this one and let's continue on. So we have a favorites list over here, and same thing here. You're going to see that list on the right hand side populate in and then kind of fade into the background as you highlight it. So favorites is going to be, you can see 0 games over here. This is going to be a collection that you put together yourself based on your personal preferences. So if you have, 100 favorite games that you want to dive into on a regular basis, you can custom add them into this collection for easy access later on. Let's back out of this one though, and we'll go down to recently played. This is going to give you, I believe, typically, I'm not sure about this particular setup, but typically it'll give you like your last 50 titles played. Again, for easy access, just like favorites. So down here we have our settings. We can go in here, make some adjustments, and we'll actually take a peek at the different settings. We can adjust bezels. We can do bezels, it looks like, for each collection. So that's pretty cool. So today I have bezels enabled. That's how it comes stock. I'm going to be just touring this as it comes right out of the box. I'm on a 16:9 aspect ratio modern day TV. So what's interesting though is that the way that they've put this together with the bezels, it would work regardless of what setup you have. So if you wanted to hook this up to an arcade, you could certainly do that and it would look perfect on here. But you can go in here, you can disable the intro video. We have fades enabled. You can disable those. All different ways to customize your experience here. So we'll back out of this. We have controls, we have credits, we have contact, we have exit. Lots of great stuff here. So if you wanted to, contact KinHank, you have all the options to do so right here. But this looks really sharp. Now let's dive into our collections here because I think this is what we're all most excited about. And it looks like we're going to have some custom collections here. So this is your custom collection for this particular title. There's lots of games available. Over here we have, what was this one? Advanced, another arcade emulator. So 34 games in here. We'll take a peek in this one. So you can see all the different games within here. All right, so we'll back out of this one. Over here we have microcomputer system, and we'll take a quick peek through here. Definitely some stuff in here that isn't, typical, not stuff that we typically will see. Now this one here, it looks like duplicates, but they are different. That one, last one was a hack. This one's version 2. This one is another hack. So there are some cases here where they look like duplicates. Doesn't appear to be that that's the case. And sometimes these will also be like 2 parts to a game as well. So not everything that looks like a duplicate actually is a duplicate, but we'll be on the lookout for, plenty of duplicates in here as we get into more and more collections. So Acorn Electron, 129 games here. And I'm not actually all that familiar with this. Actually, I do know about this game right here, 3D Bomb Alley, but not as familiar with these titles myself. Really nicely put together, though, I will say that for sure. So back out of this collection. I don't want to spend too much time on each of these. So here we have a custom collection for Alex Kidd. If we jump in here, you'll see all those titles. Altered Beast, and this one looks like 22 Altered Beast games. Take a peek in here. And you'll see that a lot of these are like that last one. This one's a European version for, let's see, what's this one? Atari ST. So you're going to get different versions for different console collections. This one's Commodore 64, but we also look like we had some hacks in here as well, or some bootlegs as they called it. Here's Genesis from '89, European version. So we'll back out of this one. It looks like there were some alternate versions too. American Laser Guns. Now this is pretty cool for the American Laser Gun fans out there. 8 games. We'll take a look. So this is where you're going to find like Mad Dog McCree and stuff like that. Crime Patrol 1 and 2 should be, yep, there we go. Crime Patrol 1 and 2. Who Shot Johnny Rocks in here. The Last Bounty Hunter. Mad Dog McCree, Mad Dog 2. Space Pirates. Definitely a cool one right there. And then we loop right back around. So back out of American Laser Games. And here we have Amstrad CPC. 1,063 games in here. We'll take a quick peek. And I love the way that this is put together. I've reviewed a lot of these plug-and-play setups in the past, and I'm always critical of the way that things are put together. And I love when there's a logo as opposed to just a text list for each title. So over here you see the Miami Vice logo and how it morphs into all of this right here, where we have the cover art, we have the console photo, the logo of the console, as well as the video preview, or in some cases just a screenshot. So love the way it's put together, just really well polished off. Backing out, we have Amstrad GX 4000. This is 25 games over here. Take a quick peek in here. Got Batman in here, which is definitely one of my favorites. We'll back out. Arcade PC. All right, let's see what this is all about. 3 games in here, so not massive, but I'm not even sure what these are and all. Oh, Haunted Museum is a good one. I've actually been playing that quite a bit lately with my Gun for IR light guns. So what else do we have? Haunted Museum 2, both great games. Rabbids Hollywood. I have not played this actually, but it looks pretty sharp there. So wasn't familiar with the collection, but do know the games quite well. Angry Birds. This is another one of those custom collections. Let's see which Angry Birds. Do we have Star Wars Angry Birds? There we go. We do right there. First one. Sweet. We have Rio as well. So if you have kids, I mean, this is an absolute win right here. Easy for everybody to play too. Not that it's necessarily something you'd be good at, but certainly a lot of fun either way. So back up. We have Apple II over here. So 608 Apple II titles. And even these have, you know, all the custom logos and stuff. And the screenshot as well, really sharp. And again, that was 608, I believe, for titles. Yep. Asteroids, another custom collection. And I'm not going to go into each of these just to save time because we've got a lot to cover here. Atari 2600, we have 663 games over here. Love E.T. on there. Not everybody's favorite title for this collection by any means, but certainly something that we all associate with Atari 2600. You can see the way everything populates in here. Even just like the way it morphs into each title is really sharp and unique for each title too. Notice how it's not the same little graphic for every single one. It does alternate nicely. All right, we'll back out. Atari 5200, we've got 72 games. I'm not going to go into each of these just to save some time, but Atari 7800, 60 games. Atari 8-bit, we have 446 games. Regular Atari, which is likely just one of those collections of classics. Yep, there it is, Atari Classics down there in the bottom left corner. 406 games. Atari G42, that's 2 games. Wow, I remember that game right there. We have Atari GX2, 3 games. Jaguar, 53 games. Jaguar CD, 2 games. Atari Lynx, 75 games. Atari ST, 2,139 games. We'll jump into ST. I always like some ST titles here. And it's certainly massive. So we got some 007, which I think we saw on the all games list there. But 1943, 1944. Really a lot of great titles for Atari ST. So we'll back out. Keeping it moving. Atari System 1. We've got 6 games. And there we go. Indiana Jones, always one of my favorites. So we got to jump in here. Love the way that it populates in. Oh, and we got the boulder going through there too. I mean, talk about well polished and really unique. I'm actually building a cabinet for this game right now. Moving my or converting my NFL Blitz into a custom graphics version of this title. So it doesn't follow the exact original cabinet by any means, but it'll look pretty cool. Atari System 2, 5 games over here. Whoops, went back too far. And then we have over here, how many games for Atlas? 13 titles. We'll take a peek in here. Just really consistent the way everything is put together. Great titles here. Love the way that it just morphs everything around. Attack of the Clones, 40 games over here. Ball and Paddle, 136 games. Bailey Astrocade. Let's take a look at this one. Definitely old school. Some point and shoot games. Definitely like that. All right, we'll back out. And now, next collection down is just Bailey. It's going to be another one of those custom classic collections, 71 games there. We have Supervision 8000 with 7 games. We have Wonder Swan with 108 games. Wonder Swan Color with 94 games. And this one here, Presto Classics, 83 games. We've got baseball games here with 293. I'll have to open this up, see what we have in here. I thought that was Bill Clinton for a second. Definitely some classic baseball games. I always loved the retro stuff for baseball. I thought they were so cool. It didn't matter if it looked like this or, it looked a little bit more advanced like this. Or we, had the Ken Griffey ones for Super Nintendo and then N64 that I loved as well. But we've got RBI Baseball in here. A bunch of those. Baseball Stars is in here. Cal Ripken Jr.'s Baseball. Roger Clemens MVP Baseball for Super Nintendo. A 3D baseball I always liked a lot too. Never really got the attention that I thought it deserved, but Sega Saturn, and it was also for PlayStation as well. Love those games. All right, we're back out of baseball. Here we have basketball collection, 86 games here, so I imagine we'll have our NBA Jam titles in there. Got LeBron in the background. Love that graphic there. We'll keep it moving. We've got a custom Batman collection, 98 games. Got to jump in here. Love Batman titles. So I imagine we have old school ones, the arcade as well. Look at that. Doesn't get any more classic. Return of the Joker over here. That was a good one. Batman Returns. And you will have some duplicates here because these titles were made for multiple console collections, but looking really good here. Just love the way that everything is put together once again. All right, so we're going to back out of here. Battletoads, another custom collection. Beat 'em up. 1,184 beat 'em up style games. And we'll just take a quick look in here because I love beat 'em up style games myself. I'm going to go the opposite way. So we've got Blood Rain in here, which I wouldn't have guessed to be in that collection, but it does make sense when you think about it. Blade 2, actually a pretty decent game. Original Blade, and they have it for Game Boy Color here, which I've never played on Game Boy Color. I've played it for PlayStation though. Love the Punisher. And they've got the open bore games as well, which are really cool. Nice. So I'm looking forward to seeing what we have in here for original Xbox because there's some great games in here. All right, we'll back out. Bomb Jack, another custom collection, 16 games. We have Bomberman with 61 games over here. Bootleg over here with 14 games. Bowling collection, so all your bowling games in here, 40 games. Let's jump into bowling. I like bowling. Do we have Simpson? Here we go. I swear, every time I mention one game that I'm psyched about, it's the first one. Nice. Love Simpsons bowling. Boxing classics over here. So we're going to have your Punch Out and stuff like that. Love the combined graphic there, but we've got Ring King here, which was for a couple different things. Super Punch Out. TKO Boxing Title Fight. Now, you're probably looking at these and thinking, okay, there's obviously duplicates. Well, there are, but there are some different versions as well. And I'm just double checking that right here. Let's see. These actually, it says old version there. This one here says new version. So, yeah, they are different versions, but this one could be, that's probably a Japanese release. Yeah, so they are slightly different, but, there are duplicates in there. It just depends how picky you are. If they are different versions, though, I don't usually get too bent out of shape about it. It's when they're like the exact same thing. Another custom collection here for Bubble Bobble. Bust a Move, custom collection, 51 games there. Computer Links, 41 games here. And then we have Capcom, 68,007 games. Capcom, this is going to be your custom classic collection, 501 games. So, I mean, certainly a lot for Capcom. We've got Capcom Commando here, 7 games. Lots of Capcom System 1, 2, and 3 is in here. ZN1's in here with 6 games. ZN2's in here with 7 games. Z80's in here with 5 games. Casino games. This is another one of those custom classic collections. Casio. Wow. 12 games for Casio. Castlevania custom collection. We've got Cave in here. Cave's got 40 games. A couple different Cave collections. Centipede, another custom collection. And I would say that you can actually turn off the custom collections if you want to, because it does get to a point where it's like, all right, we have a lot of collections here. The graphics on them look really sharp, so it just depends if you want to have that many that you're scrolling through at one time or not. ColecoVision, 140 games. What was that one? Comadco, 26 games. Not familiar with that one. Commodore 64, of course, 2,601 games. That's massive. We have Commodore 64 Mini, 63 games. Amiga, 1,794 games for Amiga. Let's jump into Amiga. I know there's a lot of retro fans out there that love this collection. And I've actually gotten into quite a few titles in here myself. There's a lot to explore in here. Now, I didn't grow up playing this, in all honesty. I mean, that one came out the year that I was born, so definitely a little before my time when I was gaming, but definitely some really cool stuff here. And let's scroll down here. Now, this is what I was actually interested in. A lot of people don't know about this game. Now, if you're not a heavy metal guy, I get it. But this is a game that I recently found, maybe like 6-7 months ago. If you're a Motorhead fan, check this game out right here for Amiga. It's really cool. And yeah, I mean, if you're a fan of Lemmy or Motorhead, you're going to love this. You can get a little preview of it right there. But there's a lot, like I said before, a lot of Amiga games that you can explore that you probably missed the first time around. So definitely check that out. There you go, Lemmy rocking out there on his bass from Motorhead. But let's keep it moving. We'll back out. Amiga, 32 CD, 163 games. We've got CD-TV over here with 33 games. We've got, what was that? Sorry. Commodore Max Machine, 15 games. We've got Commodore VIC-20, 1,406 games. A lot of these collections are, beyond what I even knew about, in all honesty. Custom Contra collection, custom Crash Bandicoot collection with 13 games here. Mega Duck over here with 23 games. We've got Daphne here with 17 games. Let's take a look at Daphne. This is where you're going to find, of course, your Space Ace. You're going to find Cliffhanger in here. You're going to find Dragon's Lair. Here's Dragon's Lair right here. Love the way it populates in. Lots of great games in here. Road Blaster, another really good one. Sweet. All right, let's back out. Darius over here with 14 games in that custom collection. We have Darksiders here, 3 games. So like collections with like 3 games. I'm not sure if I would want them personally to be populating into my list that I have to navigate through. Darkstalkers collection, 25. Cool collection, in all honesty. Not something that I personally would end up playing a whole lot. So, you can go through here and remove what you don't want to see on a regular basis too. So Data East, Astro Fighter, 3 games. Burger Time over here, 13 games. That's a pretty cool game, actually. Data East Classics, 326 games. We have Devil May Cry with 5 games. We have Dice in here, so Dice games, 17 games. Donkey Kong Custom Collection, love the graphic there, 115 games. Love Donkey Kong myself. Doom's in here with 224 games. Wow, that's a lot of Doom games. I would imagine there's some hacks and custom games as well. Double Dragon, 101 games. Earthworm Jim, 24 games. Adventure Vision with 4 games. We have Game Pocket Computer from Epoch, 6 games. We've got Super Cassette Vision, 30 games. We've got Examu X-Board, 2 games. Not familiar with that. Exidi Sorcerer, 9 games. We've got Channel F over here with 28 games. That's Fairchild Channel F. We have over here Fantasy Zone Collection, 26 games. Fatal Fury, we have 13 games. We have fighting games. So custom collection of all different fighting games. Of course, we got Mortal Kombat there populating in, 728 total games here. We have, let's see, more fighting games over here, 1,006 games. What do we have here? Final Burn Alpha, 6,455 games. Final Fantasy, 84 games in here for that custom collection. Final Fight Collection, 60 games. We've got Flash Games, 125 Flash games. We've got Frogger here with 61 games. Super Can, 7 games. Future Pinball, all right, 461 games. Let's take a peek in here. I'm a big pinball fan myself. Godzilla Unleashed, looks pretty cool. Now I have a virtual pinball machine, so now I like the way that populates in with the zoom in and all of that. Goonies, nice. Now I've never even seen that cabinet, or table rather. What else do we have in here? Gremlins is here. Now that's pretty intense. Now that might zoom in a little bit too much there. So I'm just going to kind of jump through here and see if there's anything that catches my eye. Hungry Dead, cool graphics. Oh, of course, Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I actually have this on my Indiana Jones virtual pinball machine. It's all wrapped with the graphic of, is it this one? Yeah. This is the external graphic that I have all over my virtual pinball machine. From Williams. Jaws is a good one too. Jumanji from, this should be the Robin Williams one. Sweet. Jurassic Park, and then we'll jump out of here. This looks really cool, actually. I really want to jump into this. Even though I have a lot of those games already, it definitely looks like a good experience like that. Fukuo Classics, Fukuo Classics, 6 games. Here we have GameCube Classics, 73 games. Oh, and that's, let's just talk about that game recently. Radical Bikers there. Let's jump in here. And let me just find that. And these are going to be different versions. I'm familiar with these. And they are different versions, but still, obviously, duplicates. Where is Radical Bikers? So definitely a lot of duplicates in this, but you can get a feel for Radical Bikers here. And this arcade cabinet was really cool. You had like a pair of handlebars. So this is version 2.02 Atari license. This one over here is version 2.02. So slight difference, but in all honesty, not that different. Smash Drive was pretty cool as well. We'll back out though, keep it moving. We have Vectrex over here with 40 games, sweet. Gallico 2 games, Ghouls and Ghosts 36 games. So we have Grand Theft Auto here with 22 games. We have gun games here, so custom light gun game collection, 165 games. Let's jump in here. So we have Egg Venture kicking us off. Actually, a bunch of Egg Ventures here. So I mean, when you have 6 different versions there, that gets a little bit much. Even if they're slightly different versions, I mean, how much different can Egg Venture get? In all honesty. So that's a little bit excessive. Ghost Hunter's cool. Let's just scroll through here. Gun Champ over here. Gunbuster, Hit and Miss, Hogan's Alley. See, like something like this. I'm okay with Play Choice's version. And then the VS one. Invasion. Pretty cool game here for Invasion, actually. But yeah, we don't need 3. Judge Dredd, I grew up playing this in the arcade, loved this game, and I love the arcade version, which is what we have right here, over like the PlayStation 1, which was just really pixelated in comparison. I think the graphics were just better here. Jurassic Park rail shooter, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, too many. We don't need 4 of those. Laser Ghost. So I was giving them the benefit of the doubt so far with like different versions and stuff, but like, all right, Lethal Enforcers, we got about 6 versions of those. There were different versions for different setups, but I mean, I don't know anybody personally that would play like the home console versions over the arcade, but maybe if that's how you grew up playing it. But like Lethal Justice, just 1 version, that makes sense. Line of Fire, we have 3 versions of that. Maximum Force, you really only need the regular Maximum Force, and then if you really want, you can add Maximum Force along with Area 51. That would make sense to have the dual cabinet version. So yeah, we're seeing duplicates across the board here, like Police Trainer, 6 of those as well. Bit much, but I love that game. Police Trainer's one of my favorite games. Rail Chase, awesome. Rapid Fire is pretty cool. Revolution X, the Aerosmith game, love that as well. Sharpshooter, Steel Gunner 1 and 2, Terminator 2 Judgment Day, gotta have that in here. And these aren't even different versions, and like you could have this for Super Nintendo, you could have this for Genesis, you could have this for arcade. These look to be, each version is arcade versions, just different versions of it. Yeah, same thing over here. So, Time Crisis. And this is the arcade version, not the PlayStation version. Sweet. Some hunting games. Whodunit. Zombie Raid, love that. Alien Through the Gun, Area 51. Here we go. Here's the duo version of Area 51 Maximum Force. There's even 2 of those. Carnival, classic right there. So many people talk to me about Carnival all the time. Just love playing that back in the day. Crypt Killer is pretty cool too. Some deer hunting. All right, sweet. Let's back out. We got Hacked over here. Custom Hacked Collection, 281 games. We've got right over here HB MAME, and that is 396 games. We've got Hector over here with 38 games. We've got a House of the Dead collection, custom collection of 18 games. Let's dive in and see what this is all about here. So we've got Overkill. I saw that up at the top. This one is the original, and that's the arcade version. Now, 3 versions of the original. You got the Sega Model 2 version, which is cool as well. So different versions there. I'm okay with duplicates when that's the case, especially when it's one of my favorite light gun games. We've got House of the Dead 2. Got the export regular version there. Sega MAME. Yeah, I mean, wow, they kind of go back and forth there. We have 1 and 2, or excuse me, 2 and 3 together here for Nintendo Wii. Actually do like it for the Wii as well. Overkill, which was Wii as well. And what was this one here? That one doesn't appear to be the Wii version, so that might be arcade. Although it says Wii over there on the side. I'm not really sure. I don't even know if that was put out to the arcade, but definitely a lot. I mean, essentially we have, if you look at this closely, there's 3 or 4 different games in here, but we have 18 of them. So yeah, I mean, a little excessive, I suppose. IGS Polygame Master, 25 games. Incredible Technologies, 8-bit, 17 games. Incredible Technologies, 32-bit, 21 games. Now we have IREM M107, 3 games here. M27 with 4 games. M52 with 4 games. M62 with 12 games, M72 with 10 games, M92 with 13 games, M97 with 4 games. So stuff like that, I would just combine them in all honesty, just so it's not like 10 different collections. But, you know, that's me being super picky. 136 games over here. Java's got 50 games over here. Fukuo Classics, 96 games. Kirby, so a custom Kirby collection with 50 games. Konami Bubble System, 5 games. Konami with 471 games. Konami X-Men, 4 games. Laserdisc with 8 games. Legend of Zelda Custom Collection, 70 games in here. Lamenko with 3 games. Light guns. So we have another light gun collection, 475 over here. So we had a bunch over there on gun games. So light gun games, let's check this out and compare it. So, I mean, Rail Chase and I don't think Rail Chase 2 was in that last one. But Rail Chase was. Ranger Mission, awesome game over here. Rapid Fire was in there before. Resident Evil Dead Aim is a good one. Dark Side Chronicles is good. 3, 4, oh wow, a lot of Revolution X. All right, so tons and tons of duplicates in here. A lot of these were in the other collection, so this is just like a, I don't know. Honestly, this one's a little bit more in depth than the last one, so I would probably just say use this because this is the more in-depth collection, and just get rid of gun games then because, you know, all of those games are in here anyways. So this is where we're going to see more versions of T2. Like this one is the Genesis version. I was mentioning that before. So we have Genesis, Super Nintendo, like I said. And then we have right here Master System. And then I imagine this would be the arcade one. Not even. All right. European Super Nintendo. But then there's more T2 down here. And these are all the arcade ones. All right. So yeah, I mean, it's just a little bit repetitive here. Time Crisis 3, love having that. And these are the MAME ones as well, which is really cool. But yeah, I mean, they could definitely make less collections, and I think it'd be a little bit easier to navigate, but still lots of great stuff. This is where we've got our Virtual Cops in here, Virtual Cop 3 as well, which should be for, all right, this is for MAME. I was going to say it's probably for Xbox, but yeah, lots of great stuff in here. Too many duplicates, but sweet. I mean, yeah, way too many. Oh, Site 4, okay. Nice to have Site 4 on there. Behind Enemy Lines. No preview for that one. Oh, there it is. For the second one, there is. Brave Firefighters is pretty cool. Recently found that game. No preview on here. All right, so yeah, I mean, there's duplicate collections too, which I think just makes it a little bit harder to navigate, but Loco Malito games, 14 games here. Odyssey 2 should be 95 games. Now MAME, we're seeing a lot of MAME collections coming up the pike here. 11,243 MAME games. Let's jump in here. I want to see what's included and if there's like a million of each one, and there's a lot of each one, yeah. A lot of duplicates here. So, I mean, yeah, like we don't need 6 of Tekken 3, 6 of Tekken 4. Love Tekken games, but, I mean, how many, like 8 of Tekken Tag? We don't need all that. Just give us one that works really well, and we'll be happy, you know? Unless you're somebody that's collecting different versions of the same game, and I don't know too many people that are doing that. It just doesn't make much sense. And I'm just scrolling around through these at random. But let's go in with a massive collection like this. You know, I would go in here and you can actually jump ahead if you want to and find certain letters that you want to look up titles for. I don't really have anything in mind, honestly, but so lots of Tron in here. Tron can be tough to play with a controller though, or joystick, you know, because that was such a custom sort of setup. Typing of the Dead's in here. Interesting stuff. I mean, lots of stuff. I mean, this would be the collection that I dive into most because I'm a classic arcade guy for sure. I love the quick scroll on here too, so you're not here all day, you know, scrolling through different letters. But you can see just even as I do the quick scroll that we have a lot of each game, like Virtua NBA, a lot of different ones here. All right, so let's back out of this. We won't spend all day on there. Now we have custom collections for MAME, 2-player MAME games. 4-player MAME games, 70s games, 80s games, 90s games, flying games, 1,352 flying games, more light gun games. Like, all right, now these are MAME light gun games, which all right, that's slightly different than what we've seen with gun games and regular light gun games, but there's going to be tons of the same games in here. So we're kind of just overdoing it with custom collections at this point. I mean, I don't even know how far through we are, but I feel like we're going to be here all day. Mario Kart games, which is cool. We'll jump in here and take a peek. Oh wow, they have the Mario Arcade GP, or Mario Kart DX here, which is Techno Parrot. All right, now games like this, I believe you have to, maybe not all the Techno Parrots, but a lot of times you have to have a Techno Parrot account code or whatever to unlock them. So it'll be interesting to see how that works here. All right. So Mario Kart, Arcade GP2, lots of stuff here. Mario Kart 7, Mario Kart 8, old school. I mean, they got it all in here. All right, so we'll come back around and check some stuff out. And television here with 140 games. Marvel vs. Capcom, 13 games. Maze games, 527 Maze games. Mega Man collection, 137 games. Regular Mega Man, 6 games. Oh, that's Mega Man Legacy. Metal Slug collection, 44 games. Metroid collection, 71 games. Fruit Machine, 545 games. Over here we have MGT Sam Coop, 17 games. Here we have 14 games. Over here with MSX, we have 283 games. MSX2, we have 123 games. MSX2 Plus, 52 games. Xbox, oh wow, we're getting into some interesting, holy crap. 627 original Xbox games? Holy moly. That's a lot of games, damn. I was not expecting that. I was thinking like 35, 40 games, I'd be impressed. Holy crap. Now, I'm not seeing the duplicates over here, which is good. And of course, I would imagine at that number, we've got pretty much everything. The Dead to Rights, we've got Haunted Mansion up here. Yeah, if we've got the Haunted Mansion, we should have everything. I'd imagine we have, there we go, we've got the Gauntlet games. I'm a huge fan of Gauntlet, Dark Legacy, Seven Sorrows 2. GoldenEye, Rogue Agent's a good one. Got the Grand Theft Autos, Gun's a good one here. If you like Red Dead Redemption, you would like Gun for sure. Awesome game. Heroes of the Pacific's a good one too. If you like flying games, the graphics on there are pretty sweet. Got the Hitman games, The Hobbit, Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Tomb, which I've actually just played through this again recently. Indy Car Series, awesome game here. Love that. Wow, lots of just amazing titles here. Lord of the Rings, Slugfest, Celebrity Deathmatch, just all the Maddens it looks like. Mafia, Medal of Honors, Metal Slug, Midnight Club, Mortal Kombat, NBA Ballers, NBA Live, NCAA games, football, basketball, hockey, baseball. Got it all in here. This is just absolutely amazing. Need for Speed games. Outrun 2006, Coast to Coast. Love that game. Recently played through that as well. Predator, nice. Punisher, I saw. Red Dead Revolver. Check that out if you like Red Dead Redemption. Alright, gotta keep it moving though. Could be here all day with that. Xbox 360, 116 360 games. What? Now, do all these work? I'm not sure about that. Although, from what I'm seeing, these aren't like super demanding ones so far anyways. Like I don't think we're gonna see Gears of War on here. Of course, as soon as I said it. So Gears 2, Judgments. Actually, Judgments is a pretty sweet game. Really like that one. Doesn't get much love, but we don't have the original, it looks like. Even got Forza Horizon 2 in here. I don't know how all, and what you're using is going to play a big role in this as well. But yeah, I don't know if all of these are going to work, but Halo 3, Halo 4. Wow. This is a cool Mortal Kombat here versus DC Universe. Omerta, City of Gangsters. Ridge Racer 6. All right, let's back it up. Midway. All right, I'm a big Midway guy, but we got 238 classics here. We've got Midway Seattle, T-Unit, V-Unit, Wolf, Zeus. All right, let me go in here, and I got to see if Gauntlet Legends is in here. Just got to check, because I'm a huge Gauntlet Legends fan. Same with Cruisin'. And are these the arcade versions? They are. Wow. All right, the arcade versions are just so much better than N64s, so that's impressive that those are in here. Now, we should have NFL Blitz in here, NBA Jam, and we have Showtime in here. I don't see NBA Showtime. We got Hang Time, which is good. Got some WrestleMania. Cool. Open Ice Challenge is good. And I went right by the G's before, but we don't have Gauntlet Legends in here. I know it's on here, just not in what they are considering to be the best. So shame on them for that. Just kidding. We'll back out. Microtia, 64 games. Mitchell, 21 games. Mortal Kombat, going to be a ton, 139 games. Mr. Do, 30 games. Mugen, 116 games. Namco's, all the Namco's, wow. I'll be here all day with Namco's. PC Engines, I had to speed this up. This is going to be like a 6-hour video. TurboGrafx, 1694 games. TurboGrafx CD, 46 games. PCFX with 67 games. SuperGrafx with 5 games. Nick Butsu Classic. I'm probably saying that wrong. 166 games. Need for Speed Custom Collection, 51 games. Nintendo 3DS, 307 games. Nintendo 64, 312 games in here. Let's take a quick look at how this looks in here. With that number, we're not missing much. But let's just cruise through here. We got the cruising games, which I'm a big fan of. But you can see the way that they populate in here. Of course, that's adding more pixelation to it than it needs to have, because especially for Cruising Exotica. Yeah, I know they're trying to get that CRT sort of vibe on there, but that makes the game look worse than it is. It's actually graphically quite good. All of the cruising games graphically really quite good. Diddy Kong Racing here. See, that looks smoother the way that they've populated it here. Donkey Kong 64. So you're gonna have all your favorites here. They did that CRT sort of look to it again. But looks like a great collection. N64 Europe, which is nice that they have 241 games here, but these are going to be your imports, your likely Japanese releases, or excuse me, it wouldn't be Japanese releases. It says Europe there. So your international releases, a 64 disc drive over here, 8 games. Arcade, so Nintendo arcade system. Okay, that's pretty cool. 104 games. So if you want to just seek out your Nintendo arcade games, you can do that. Nintendo Classics, 136 games. How they broke it down to just 136 is beyond me, but good on them for trying. Nintendo DS, 2,098 games. Wow. NES with 889. NES Hacks, 88 games. Family Computer, 409 games. Family Disk System, 209 games. Nintendo Game & Watch, 55 games. Original Game Boy, 851 games. Game Boy Advance, 1,132 games. Game Boy Advance Hacks, 22 games. Game Boy Color, 597 games. Nintendo GameCube. Wow, 638 games. Wow, that is massive for GameCube. I'm a huge GameCube guy. This is a big part of my childhood here. So let's scroll through here and just see. I mean, with that number, again, just like Xbox original, we've got it all in here. I'm pretty confident. So lots of great titles. Donkey Konga 1 and 2. I saw we had Luigi's Mansion in here. We're gonna have all the Mario games, of course. I mean, Dark Legacy, love it. Godzilla, Destroy All Monsters. Saw a gun up there, which I'm a big fan of. The Hobbit, big fan of that. Recently played that on the original GameCube. Italian Job's a good one. Kelly Slater, saw some Dave Mirra up there. Lord of the Rings, Lost Kingdoms, Slugfest, Madden, Mario Kart Double Dash. Of course, you got to have that. All right, we've got it all here for GameCube. That's awesome. Pokemon Mini with 30 games. Okay. Nintendo Prototypes, 50 games. Let's take a look at Prototypes. So you get like beta versions of these games, which is pretty cool. I mean, there's nothing that isn't on here. Super Famicom Satellaview, 80 games. Sufami Turbo, 14 games. Super Famicom, 524 games. Super Game Boy, 239 games. Oh, wow. Nintendo Switch, how many? 62 games for Nintendo Switch. What do we have for Switch in here? All right, Bayonetta, Battle Crashers, Cat Quest, Cave Story, Chicken Range, Contra, Nitro Fueled over here from Crash. All right, so some decent games. Not a lot of stuff that I'm a big fan of. Kirby Star Allies, pretty cool. Zelda, of course. Luigi's Mansion 3. Mario Aces. Mercenary Kings. All right, Mario Brothers U. Kart Racers from Nickelodeon. All right, so there's definitely some cool stuff in here. You got some Pokemon in here, quite a bit of Pokemon. Raymond in here. Super Mario Maker, Super Mario Odyssey, Super Mario Brothers Ultimate, Street Fighter 2. All right, so yeah, there is a lot of stuff in here. We'll back out. Virtual Boy should be like 30, 20. All right, that's pretty good. Versus System, 36 games. Nintendo Wii, how many Wii games? Wow, 866 games. All right, I'm a big fan of Wii emulation because it's so good and it's so on point with, playing the original games. So we got the Metroids in here. With that number, like I've said before, with these other collections, we've got it all. Mario Tennis, yeah. Manhunt, Madden, Madagascar, M&M games. Link's Crossbow Training, sweet. Zelda games, all right. More light gun games broken down in a weird way. 13 games there, not even gonna bother. Wii U, 110 games. Let's check out Wii U. Wow. Definitely the most in-depth Wii U collection I've seen. We'll back out. WiiWare, 403 games. NMK Classics. NMK Classics, 15 games. Ouya, 17 games. Xbox. Official Xbox magazine. What's that all about? Oh, okay. We can scroll through the magazine. That's actually pretty cool. I've seen that on Chris Coolmod's setup before. Beats of Rage, open board, 203 games. That's the most in-depth collection, or in-depth number for that collection. Othello, Outrun. We have 30 Outrun games. Pac-Mame, 43 games. Pac-Man Collection with 84 games. Over here, 216 games. PC games, 175 games. So let's take a look at PC games here. So we're going to more modern stuff now, for sure. And I like the graphics in the background. We've got Tomb Raider games. We've got Tekken 7 up here, which I always play this game when I test out mini PCs and stuff. Streets of Rage. Saints Row. Lots of good stuff in here. Wow. And I mean, these are AAA titles right here. So Outrun 2006, Coast to Coast. Now, MotoGP 19, Mortal Kombat 10. These are going to be games that you need something really demanding, as the picture in the background here pretty much suggests. You need something really powerful to emulate these, or to play these rather. So keep that in mind. Halo Reach, Grand Theft Auto 5, Full Throttle. Wow. Dragon's Lair. Let's take a look at Dragon's Lair on here. I mean, big difference than the Dragon's Lair we're thinking of, but still very much in line. Dead or Alive 6. Wow. All right, let's back out. Phantom Games with 85 games. Pinball Arcade with 71 games. Pinball FX, oh wow, so we're going into the virtual tables now. 71 games for FX2. FX3 has 93 games. Platformers here with 943 games. Platform with 3,807 games. Pokemon games, 136 Pokemon games. Hacked Pokemon titles, 27. PopCap here with 37. Paciccio, 34 games. Puzzle Arcade games, 318. Puzzle games in general, 2,192. R-Type, Custom Collection, 37 games. Racing Arcade games, 404 games here. Racing in general games, 2,556 games. All right, we have Racing Classics, 20 games. Fighting for Racing, and hopefully I'm saying that right, probably not, 12 games. Raymond Custom Collection, 14 games. Resident Evil Custom Collection, 46 games. Role Playing, we've got 1,001 games. Run and Gun, 383 games. A Thomas Wave, love that collection, 15 games. We have Sammy Seta Visco SSV, 23 games. This is Samsung Game Boy, 33 games. Samurai Showdown Collection, 48 games. Scum VM, 108 games. Love that collection too. Sega 32X, 34 games. Sega CD is going to have 149 games. Sega in general classics, 520 classics. Dreamcast, 322 games. Sega G80 Raster, 6 games. Sega G80 Vector, 4 games. Game Gear, 334 games. Genesis, 944 games. Genesis Hacks, 175 games. Genesis Mini, 41 games. Sega Hikaru, 4 games. Kyugo from Sega, 3 games. Mark III from Sega, 69 games. Master System, 333 games. Tectoy, 23 games. Mega Drive, 434 games. Mega Drive Japan, 395 games. Mega Play from Sega, 11 games. Model 1, 9 games. Model 2, 54 games. Model 3, 28 games. Let's jump into Model 3 because I love this collection. Now, we have too many. I'm going to say that right off the bat. Dirt Devils is awesome. Emergency Call Ambulance is pretty cool. Harley Davidson motorcycles. But where are our duplicates? We've got, okay, so 2 Star Wars Arcade. Yeah, there's a lot of duplicates in here. I knew it just going off it, but there's not as many as I thought, so that's pretty cool. Magical Truck Adventure. Don't think I've played that one. Not sure how well it'll work, but we'll give it a... I mean, looks interesting. I never played it, though. All right, so Sega Naomi with 158 games here. Naomi 2, 14 games. And that's one you don't see very often. This is going to be your Sega Naomi Guns, 8 games. And love this game right here. Why am I blanking on the name of it? Maze of Kings. Yeah, there it is. Confidential Missions, good too. Lots of good stuff in here. Your House of the Dead, which there's duplicates of, but still a great game. Now we have over here Sega Nomad, 28 games here. Pico, we've got 261 games. Ring Wide, we've got 5 games. Next we've got Ring Edge, 9 games. SG-1000, we've got 72 games. We've got STV, 56 games. Sega Saturn, 306 games. System 16 from Sega, 26 games. System 18, 10 games. System 24, 14 games. System C2, 14 games. Triforce, we've got 3 games, and that looks like a sweet collection to dive into. Sega Y-Board, we've got 5 games. Cebu Kiatsu Classics, 16 games. Shoot 'em Ups, 2,684 games. Super Nintendo Media Enhancement here, 156 games. SNK Custom Collection, 243 games. Hyper Neo Geo 64, 7 games. Neo Geo CD, 95 games. Neo Geo System, 140 games. Neo Geo Mini, 40 games. Neo Geo Pocket, 10 games. Neo Geo Pocket Color, 40 games. Neo Geo X, 35 games. Sharp MZ 2500, 55 games. Sharp X1, 104 games. Sharp 68,000, 310 games. Over here, Custom Collection, 6 games. Shining Force over here, Custom Collection, 15 games. Shoot Gun Farmers, Shotgun Games, 74 games. Shoot 'em Ups, which I think we've already seen Shoot 'em Ups at least 2 or 3 times, 2,624 games. Silent Hill, Custom Collection, 10 games. Simpsons Custom Collection, 48 games. Sinclair ZX Spectrum, 1,590 games. Soccer Custom Collection games, 105. Sonic Collection, 88 games. PlayStation, this is original PlayStation, 170. Original PlayStation, 1,788 games. PlayStation Japan, 28 games. PSP Minis, 299 games. PlayStation another custom PlayStation collection, 135 games. PS2, 625 games. PlayStation 2 Europe, 361 games. PS3, 23 games from PS3. Let's take a peek at PS3. God of War 3, Grand Theft Auto 4, Ratchet and Clank, bunch of them. Ridge Racer 7, Soul Calibur 4 and 5, Topspin, Uncharted, Wolf Among Us, Dead or Alive, FIFA Street 3, lots of great stuff. Kingdom Hearts. Nice. Next one down is PS4. We'll jump into PS4. Take a look at what we've got in here. Definitely some decent titles in here. We've got Red Dead Redemption 2. Obviously a smash hit right there. Some Resident Evil in here. Some Tomb Raider. Saints Row 4. More Tomb Raider. Street Fighter, Tekken 7, love that game. V-Rally 4, WRC 8 I saw, Witcher, Yakuza. Wow, lots of great stuff in here. And it just keeps on going and going. How many titles do we have in here? Dead or Alive 6, Doom Eternal, some Dragon Ball Z in here. Skyrim Special Edition, Full Throttle Remastered. Now that's pretty cool. Talk about old school PC games. Grand Theft Auto 5, Ghostbusters video game, Grand Theft Auto Vice City, and is that? Wow, very nice. There's some really great stuff in here. All right, so let me jump out of here. And how many titles do we have for PS4? We had 151 titles. All right, so that's massive. Now, keep in mind, these are PC versions of these titles, I'm sure. So Wow, PS5. Only 2 games, but what do we have in here for PS5? Okay. Some Final Fantasy and Elden Ring. I mean, that's pretty sweet right there. All right. Back out of here again. PSP. We've got 851 games. All right, just 850, right? Now, I've actually gotten into PSP more through emulation than I ever was back in the day when, you know, it was a current handheld. But tons and tons of stuff in here. Looks like all the Lego titles. Some more Lord of the Rings here. Lots of baseball stuff going on. Lots of sports games. All the Maddens. Major League Baseball. So basketball, Manhunt 1 and 2 look like. Or oh, just 2. Alright. Alright, pretty sweet. And there's some minis games in here. We got different volumes too, which is cool. Alright, let's back out. We've got Pocket Station over here with 101 games. We've got Sword M5, 11 games. We've got Space Invaders Collection. We've got Spinner. So these are Spinner games. 67 games there. Sports games. I mean, what's that going to be? 4,600. Spider-Man specific collection here. Star Trek, 48 Star Trek titles. Street Fighter collection, 380 Street Fighter games. 30th anniversary Street Fighter collection. See, like more Street Fighter games. It's like, all right, we got a little too many of the same collections here, like the light guns. Like we're up to like 5 light gun collections. And this is no different, apparently. Streets of Rage collection. Like, do we really need a collection if there's just 2? But, you know, you can actually reduce the number of these, like I said before. Super Mario collection, that one makes sense. Of course, you got to have Super Mario. Super Mario World. Hacks. Okay, it's a Hacks specific collection. 101 games in there. That's pretty good. Metroid. I feel like we already saw Metroid. All right, this is Metroid Hacks. Super Metroid Hacks, rather. So, yeah, we definitely saw a Metroid collection before. Super Nintendo Classic Edition, 21 games. More Super Nintendo. We got Europe releases, Japanese releases, Super Smash Brothers, 10 games over here. We've got Tad over here, 6 games there. And you can see lots of these right here as well. Like, wow, a lot. Okay. I mean, after a while, it's like, okay, it gets to be a bit much to go through each one individually. Okay. So Technos Arcade, 22 games. We've got Nintendo, just broad Nintendo, 18 games. Tecmo over here with 45 in Classics. Tekken Specific Collection, 47 games. Techno Parrot. Now, how many of these do we have? 85 games. Now, Techno Parrot is pretty sweet. Now, I will say this. I'm pretty sure you're going to need to get yourself an account with Techno Parrot. And usually, I mean, I've done it, and I have a current, I guess you'd call it a subscription through Patreon. And it's like $5 a month, something like that, where you can pay out for the whole year. And they give you a code, and it unlocks a lot of games. You can get into some games, but I think the majority of these, you're going to have that a code from them to unlock. I could be wrong. You know, I'm not sure about it over here, but that's how it's been on any other setup that I've gotten from them. Excuse me, that included them in here. So keep that in mind. But definitely some sweet titles in here. Tomb Raider's a good one. Light gun game. Transformers. Midnight Maxim Tune 5. Love this game right here. All the Alien games are awesome. Actually, the other one is pretty amazing as well. Armageddon. Chase HQ2 is a good one. There's some Contra Evolution in here. Ultimate Arcade from Dead or Alive 5. Dirty Driving. Far Cry Paradise Lost is a pretty cool sort of rail shooter light gun game. I suppose it's more rail shooter than light gun. Haunted Museum 2, awesome game. Lots of good stuff, and there's tons of amazing racing games and shooting games in here. So, all right, we'll back out of this one. Keeping it moving, we've got tennis specific collection in here, which I actually really love tennis games. I'm not so much into tennis, but I love the games. Tiger handhelds. We've got the Mean Green Collection. All right, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's good to have. That one makes sense for sure. Toplan. Classics over here, 50 games. Tomb Raider specific collection, 29 games. I would think there'd be more than 29, but if there's no duplicates, then I guess that would make sense. Track and field collection. Trackball. All right, so we're going to have your golden T games in here. Some probably some of the Simpson titles as well. Twisted Metal. All right. Virtua Fighter. I mean, lots and lots of good stuff. Supervision in here, 43 games. Yeah, I'm trying to run through these a little bit here because this is, I just know I've gone through 3 batteries on my camera. I know this video is getting long, but wrestling collection, I'm a big classic wrestling fan. I gotta see what we've got waiting for us in here. Let's see, 252 titles. This is definitely something that I would be interested in exploring myself. All right, so we're kicking it off with Backyard Wrestling. Don't try this at home. Decent games, actually. Backyard Wrestling 2. Same deal over here, but different versions. So we've got Xbox for both of these, PS2 for the other ones. So duplicates in that sense are perfectly fine. So we've got some classic stuff here. Body Slam. Champion Pro Wrestling. Champion Wrestler. So old school stuff. Def Jam. I don't know if I'd call that wrestling, but I'm okay with it. They're cool games. ECW. All right, where's the good stuff? Now these are actually pretty cool here from Sega Naomi, like that. Same deal here. Graphics were great on there as well. But where's our, I assume the best stuff is going to be at the bottom because WCW, WWF, W, alphabetical order, it would be towards the end. Legends of Wrestling games, I actually like those quite a bit. Back then, that was your only chance of having like, WCW, ECW, and WWF, WWE guys all in one game because back then they were all separate entities. Popeye 3 Wrestle Crazy. Play Choices Pro Wrestling. All right, I'm gonna jump through these and get down to the TNA Impact. Okay, so get the PSP. What's this one for? Both for PSP. Okay. What else do we have here? UFC's in here. I don't know if I'd put that in there. All right, we've got Backstage Assault, worst wrestling game ever right there. WCW Main Event. Mayhem. I actually like Mayhem quite a bit for either of these. Oh, no. I was expecting it to be PlayStation, original PlayStation. But, yeah, never played it on Game Boy Color. We've got WCW Nitro. I actually just got this game, like a physical copy of this game for the PC. Sealed in the box the other day. WCW Super Brawl Wrestling. Love this game, actually. Really a good time playing this. Okay, not familiar with that one. WCW versus NWO World Tour. We've got the best one, in my opinion, Revenge for WCW games. That's by far the best. WWE 12. WWE 13. Road to WrestleMania X8, so that's 18 for Advance. I'm sure it's in there for GameCube too. That's my version that I like. Day of Reckoning 1 and 2 are great games. Got some WWE SmackDown versus Raw. Oh, there we go. There's the GameCube version. Love that game. 19's good too. Graphics were great on those too. European Rampage. What is that all about? I don't think I'm familiar with that one. That's interesting. Betrayal, okay, yeah, for Game Boy Color. In Your House is decent. No Mercy, another one of the best ones out there. Got some blood on Jeff Hardy there. All right, sweet. Yeah, I mean it's pretty deep here for sure. And it just goes on and on and on. Superstars 2. Lots of WrestleFests. That's what we need. We need a hack for WrestleFest. Do they have a hack for this? I don't think so. What was that? Yeah, same deal. And WrestleMania 2000, another great one. All right, cool. Keep it moving here. Young Song. And Zinc, 61 games over here. And we are back to our all games list. All right, so that is everything on here. 102,693 games. Yes, there's tons of duplicates though, gotta say it. Tons and tons of duplicates, and even the collections, there's duplicate collections here, so they could clean this up a little bit, but pretty sweet nonetheless. All right, guys, so we just jumped out of the KinHank 12TB retro game hard drive from Amazon. Now, I actually had to go back here and double check the listing because in the intro I said it's got 40,000 games on here, or 40,000 plus games on here, and it's definitely got 40,000 plus games on here. It's got over 102,000, in fact, we found as we went through the all games list. Now, to say that this is extensive and this is a massive collection would be an understatement. I mean, it's mind-blowing how much stuff is jam-packed onto this 12TB hard drive. Now, there's tons of duplicates though, and we found that out very quickly as we, descended into all of these collections one by one. And it's to the point where it can be a daunting task to navigate through all the duplicates. And my patience kind of waned a little bit as we went through the process. I was very patient in the beginning, and then towards the end I'm like, all right, there's 8 duplicates of this title, there's 7 duplicates of this title. It's like, okay, it literally will max out your little window there as you're scrolling through games when you have that many titles that are duplicated. So it does get annoying. So even though they're not false advertising, you still have to comb through all those duplicates to find what you're looking for. So that kind of gets annoying to say the least, but hey, you have games that actually work. Now, I did skip gameplay demos here in this video because I went through over 3 batteries filming this video on my camera. So that never happens. I barely ever go through one unless I can't get my words out correctly and I'm just burning through, bloopers. But yeah, for me to go through that many, I know this video is going to be long. Obviously, as I'm still filming it, I don't know the true, total number of minutes here, but it's going to be extensive. So I didn't want to take up, any more time diving into games, but I did dive into games on my own, and everything that I jumped into worked very well. That being said, I have a high-powered gaming PC. So if you want to unlock the full potential of what is offered here, you need to have a high-end gaming PC. You could have a high-end mini gaming PC, I suppose, but you probably want to have just the best that you could possibly have here because some of the stuff here is very demanding on your PC. You need to have really souped up specs. Don't come at this with, an Intel Celeron processor and think you're going to walk through everything effortlessly. It's not going to pan out for you at all. So just make sure that you have a realistic idea as to what you'll be able to get into based on what you plan to use with this drive. But yeah, there's tons of stuff on here. I mean, everything from the first video games ever made all the way up through PS5. Now, PS4 and PS5 aren't true emulation. You're playing PC versions of, titles from those collections. This is becoming very common practice to do that. I think it's a little misleading, but, at the end of the day, you're getting into modern day titles, and the gameplay experience is good as long as you have a PC that can effectively handle it. So I don't really get bent out of shape too badly about the fact that, they're saying it's PS4 or PS5 when it's really the PC version. It is what it is in the end. So great selection of games, though. I think that the menus look really cool. They're really well put together. I love the layout on here. Collection by collection, it's consistent. Somebody put a ton of time into this. If anything, there's too many damn collections. I mean, we jumped into probably 5 or 6 different light gun collections, and they're all slightly different, but they do have a lot of crossover at the same time. So I would pull back on all those custom collections. I just think that it's way too much to comb through. I mean, you can see based on how long this video is, how long it takes to go through everything that this has to offer, just going through a couple scrolls in each collection. If you were really combing through the entire list on every single collection, I mean, this could be a 24-hour long video. I mean, it's that in-depth here. So adding the extra collections looks cool, but there's so much on here. I would scale it back a whole lot. Like, you don't need to have, 20 Atari collections. You just don't need to. You don't need to have like whoever put it together's favorites for, Mario makes sense, Donkey Kong makes sense, but like there's some obscure titles here where it's like, all right, we don't need that. We don't need this. So they could definitely pull the reins back a little bit on a whole lot of this, make it a little bit more user-friendly, but hey, at the end of the day, it's jam-packed with tons and tons of games here from a wide range of collections. It's got everything that you would ever want to play, but would never have the time to actually dive into. I mean, there's more games here than you could play in your lifetime if you dedicated, every minute that you have left on this earth to this drive right here. So it's overkill, it's over the top, but a lot of people like that. A lot of people want this many games at their fingertips. And the price point here is not outrageous at all. It's $300. It is a mechanical drive. It's not an SSD. So, obviously, you know what that entails. But mechanical drives aren't bad. And this is a Seagate drive. It's really pretty high end. The enclosure is very high end as well. It's not cheap crap. It's not, something that I think is going to crap out on you, after 2 weeks. It's definitely well put together. And the way that everything is structured, on the drive itself is top notch as well. So $300 for what you get here. I mean, if you were going to go out and look for, say you're a Pokemon game fan and you want to get like 2 original Pokemon games, you could surpass $300 with just 2 titles. That's how jacked up prices are for, original games. So if you look at it with that in mind, $300 really isn't out of this world for what you're getting here. It is pretty much a phenomenal deal, actually. Now, I'm not saying rush out there and go get this. I think it's overkill. I think it's more than anybody really needs, and you're going to end up with tons of duplicates. You're going to end up with a lot more stuff than you're ever going to actually dive into, but still, there's a lot of value here. So weigh out the pros and cons. I'm by no means, saying run out and get this, but it's got a lot to offer. It is well put together. The games work very well. You just have to obviously have a PC that can handle everything that is offered here effectively. But weigh out the pros and cons, see if it lines up with what you're looking for, of course. If you want more information on this, there's a link up here at the top of your screen, as well as in the description of this video. But let me know in the comments what you think of this drive here. Let me know what you think of having this many games at your fingertips. And you guys know the deal from there. If you enjoyed the video today, please give me a thumbs up on the video. It's a huge help to me here on YouTube as I try to further grow the channel. And of course, hit subscribe to stay in the loop for all future videos right here on the Retro Gaming Guy YouTube channel. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.